care. Like,
but that's what submission is. That's what submission is that you
down that I think everybody is at some point deserving to receive love and to be even into marriage if they do aspire for marriage.
I believe that society shapes how we view things and how we look at things in our life.
Make your own bed. That's basically what Kevin Samuels is saying. His delivery is what people kind of throws people off. But basically,
aggressive or like violent, like where I think toxic masculinity is
no offense to men, that they also get this idea that, you know, women are just going to take care of them and everything is going to be like easy.
A domestic violence shelter, and he brought her up to be, you know, a $25,000.
Hell yeah, you need to judge in dating. It is what it is. You know, you can't not judge people just because you feel bad about it. Like, you need to know.
As much as I love my daughter, there are some harsh realities and some things that her mother and I teach her in order to help her to understand. And
like, I'm sure everyone knows a woman that, you know, had to have
What's going on? Welcome back to CKQ. I'm your host, Clement. Do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this once a week on Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So we got our panelists. Usual, we got Chris.
hi everyone, my name is Chris. I have a channel called The Blooming Ebony. You can also follow me on Instagram at The Blooming Ebony as well. But on your way in, hit that subscribe button for CKQ Podcast, and I hope you enjoy this show.
And we got Danielle.
Hi, my name is Danielle. You can find me on Instagram at Fly Nurse My Mom Wife, and here on the CKQ Podcast, and occasionally on Blooming Ebony on YouTube.
Awesome. I like that. That was good. How you guys doing? Good? Awesome. So I got some things that I've been thinking about. All right. Things that have been going through my head a little bit. So we'll start with the first one. Men have unrealistic expectations of women. Men have unrealistic expectations of women. What do you think? Do men have unrealistic expectations of women?
Oh my gosh. I was trying to see. Oh, there you go. Is it gonna work?
What?
I was trying to put my headset on because my husband just got back in the car. Okay, so I'll answer, and then I'm gonna have to get off until I get home.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I don't think so. Like, to me, men are very simple.
Okay.
They don't want much. They just want a calm, peaceful environment. They want some compliments and some appreciation. They want some sex, clean environment, and they're fine. Some food too, they need to be full. But that's all. Just no headaches, basically.
I don't know. I might have to disagree with that a little bit. Might have to.
I will get back on here in like 10 minutes.
Okay, I'll see you soon.
Okay.
Chris, what do you think?
I don't think their standards are unrealistic per se. I think, or expectations. Do some men have unrealistic expectations? I don't think they do most of the time. I think men know that if they aren't finding someone, that they need to make adjustments. I think men adjust. Yeah, I think they adjust. Like that's why the manosphere exists, because they were struggling with women, so they're like, I'm just gonna go my own way, right? I'm just gonna figure out something else. Like they'll adjust. I think that they don't understand oftentimes what they want in women specifically. I think they kind of have this like blueprint that was created by either Kevin Samuels or Rollo Tomasi or someone in the manosphere that they kind of go off of. Like they don't know what they specifically want from women. But I don't really think they have necessarily unrealistic standards. And if they do, I think that they get a reality check quicker than women do.
So then you do think they have it, or no?
I don't see that very often, so I can't really say. I would say majority, no. Generally speaking, no.
Okay. John, how you doing?
How you doing?
Fantastic. How about you, my man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, bro.
Yeah.
Doing good. Yeah.
Living your best life, huh?
Yeah. I'm ready to go home now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got stuff to do. Okay. Yeah, man. I don't live in Texas, and I ain't trying to live in Texas. But Nate,
how you doing? Oh, she's
all right, yeah, Nick, you're gonna have to cut off the podcast, honey.
But John, what do you think? Men have unrealistic expectations of women. What do you think?
Depends on what you're trying to put. How you got to have some context surrounding that. I mean, no, I don't think they do. For real, for the most part.
Nowadays, when it comes to dating, men have unrealistic expectations. I think. I think men, because men are so worried about what they don't want. That's all they really ever focus on is what they don't want, but they have no idea what they actually do want. They can list off a bunch of things that they don't know.
I mean, I agree that they don't really know what they want, but I don't think they have expectations, period.
I think now
you got to categorize this by ages.
Okay.
You can't just, you can't group it all together, because if you ask guys my age, one, we do know what we want. Mm-hmm. Two, we have realistic expectations, because we're going to tell you exactly what we expect from her. Now, whether or not she wants to go with that, that's on her. But I know what I want from her, like, period. But then when you go midway, like maybe 5 or 6 years older than you, probably going to be a little similar. You go 5 years younger than you, ain't no fucking telling what you're going to get. They don't want to be married at all. They don't really want to be in a relationship. I mean, you got to look, the dating scene is fucking weird right now. Is really just is weird. It's weird. A lot of people don't really want to commit to one person. It's mainly transactional.
But do you think that would you say that, do you think most men know how to commit to someone?
Depends on the age. It's got to be in groups. Depends on the age. The younger you are, the more dangerous it is to commit. It's dangerous for a young man to commit. I don't care what nobody say. It's dangerous for a young man to commit.
I don't care about them committing. I don't think they know how to.
And no, at 22, you don't know how to commit. At 23, you don't. 24, you don't.
32, and maybe even 42. I don't think men know how to commit.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. It depends. At least that's what they want you to think.
Yeah, Chris, you have
then we don't know how to commit.
I don't know if this really changes anything, but are you asking specifically about like dating? Like they have unrealistic standards when it comes to dating women, or just of women in general?
Dating and moving it forward after that.
Forward. Okay.
What are you thinking?
Oh, you can let Neek go, and then I'm still thinking, still processing.
I think Unique is still putting some stuff together real quick. I got you. I saw it in your face a second. Yeah, but I don't know. I have a, you know what? We're going to do a quick reaction real quick. All right. Let's just do that. My boy C Boogie. This is C Boogie podcast. All right.
What people are really doing. So a lot of dudes get on, but that's it. You're going to explain why?
I think, I mean, based on a lot of the dating coaches that have quit because of women's unrealistic standards, I think a lot of women, we want like 20% of the men. And there's not enough of those men to go around. And I think a lot of times we want a finished product as women. Everybody does, but I do think women really, really want it.
I disagree with that statement. I think that that's what a lot of people are selling. That women only want a small percentage of the men that's out here. But the reason why I disagree is I go off my observations on who women are sleeping with, dating, have children by. Women are not having children for the most part by the top 20% of men. A lot of women are not having casual sex frequently with the top 20% of men. If I just go out and I just open up my eyes, it's not typically, the top 20% of men. I mean, matter of fact, a lot of dudes that I know that I would call, womanizers, they didn't fit that description. They was just cool player types. I know that's what people selling, and that's one of the issues that I have too, is that a lot of people, they get online and say they ideal of a man or they ideal of a woman or what they would want. And, we all got our wants, but you have to look at what people are really doing. So a lot of dudes get online and say, well, I'll never sleep with a single mother. I ain't dealing with no woman with kids. Look at their dating history. You know what I mean? Don't even have a conversation with these people. Just look at their dating history. You'll see some inconsistencies there. Same thing with women. A lot of women say, well, I'll never deal with a man that been to prison. But look at her dating history. It might have been once or twice she gave that exception to the man that she really wanted, or et cetera, et cetera. So, I understand, but that top 20.
Yeah. He put that in a really good perspective.
Right?
Because the average woman is not dating a man in the top 20%, bro.
No.
At all. You not even, matter of fact, the average woman ain't even dating in the top 50% of the men. They dating in the between the bottom 20 and the maybe the bottom 30. But when I say the top 50%, so in the upper, when you get, if you could imagine a line, right? Okay. If you imagine a line and go from the bottom to the middle of this line, right? That's gonna put you at 50. Above that, we're gonna go, but above that, we're gonna go not up to 100. We're gonna take 50 and then count back down till you get to 1. You understand what I'm saying? So okay. 50 is gonna be in the middle, right? So at the bottom fifth, the bottom 10%, those are all your niggas who've been to prison. They're in the bottom. Why is that? Because you got a felony. You just ain't marketable. You can't move around as free as you fucking want to be. You can't go out the country. You can't travel. There's a lot of shit you can't do. So there's everybody with a felony, right? Right there with them is niggas who got felonies, bad credit, broke, don't have a good, make less than $25,000 a year. All them niggas. So then just above that, before you get to the 50, you got niggas who make about $35,000, $40,000 a year, right? And they got bad credit, but they got good record. But they ain't going past. These are mediocre niggas. These are niggas who they comfortable with $35,000, $40,000 a year. These are niggas is all up in their face. Right around in there is what your 3s, your adjustable 4s is going after. Now your motherfucking 6s thinking they up here in the top 20. Nope. So they got a nigga who tricking their ass with that mouthpiece. He make about $58,000, $60,000 a year. Probably got a couple of baby mamas, you feel me? Probably paying child support and pay it on the regular. Credit a little decent. He got some buying power, but he ain't really hitting on shit for real, for real. But that's what the fuck she's dating, because he looked like he making 6 figures, but he ain't making 6 figures. But he looked the part. Probably built good, shit like that, blah, blah, blah. Now, when you get over that, they are closer to the 50%, right up, like right in there. So when you get to the 50%, now you at the niggas who, they got a good job, got a decent paying job, they got good credit, they ain't got no kids, nothing like they got kids maybe, but they got kids is all with the same woman, may have been married one time, they just in line, never been in trouble with the law, don't owe no money to nobody, no shit like that. They just working and they would like to get better and move on forward. And when you get above that, you get in the top 40%. When you talk about the top 40%, these are educated niggas. These niggas has got jobs and they making moves. They just don't want to get married to nobody. They're just trying to put some dick on you, right? So if the women are listening, do you see the narrative that I'm going here? You are nowhere near. Let me let you know when you cracked into the top 10%. That nigga makes over $100,000 a year. Period. Credit, he got buying power. He don't really move in circles that you're gonna be able to get into. He mainly be around other people with married women. And when he do go out here where you might see him, he gonna approach you with a transactional situation. Cause he making moves and he ain't finna have that shit threatened by somebody who don't really know what the fuck she want. Or he ain't gonna have that shit threatened by somebody who really think he gonna listen to her when she talking about, when she give up all this pushback. So he just gonna go ahead and put that out there. And if you want it, you can go get it, but we're gonna have a transactional situation going on. Because he don't have to listen to all that nonsense, and he ain't gonna listen to all that fucking nonsense.
So,
and it gets worse as you go up.
I think that still goes back to men's. Oh, who's that? Oh.
I know for a fact it ain't me. You know, I'm in fucking Dallas.
No, I think.
Y'all hear that yelling?
Yeah.
That was my husband.
What?
What you was saying, Clement?
Unrealistic expectations. Men's expectation, I think they're unrealistic because you know, other besides the fact that they can state what they don't want a lot of the times, they can't really figure out what they do want. And I think because we're in a time period where a lot of men are now speaking on what they feel a lot of the times, and they're watching a lot of different podcasts, and they're spouting a lot of talking points. So they have no idea what the hell they're saying. But they're like, oh, I just want a woman that's fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive. That's what I want. That's what I want in a woman. That's not even their original fucking thought. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I say men have unrealistic expectations now, because now they say, oh, I want fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive. And every woman should somehow knows exactly what that means for every individual man. Like, nah, bro. Like, that's not how that works.
Nah,
so, I see what you're saying now. I understand the question now. I 100% agree. They can explain every characteristic about the modern woman. Mm-hmm. Every single characteristic. Like, they can identify her in the street. Sorry, there's an ambulance. One second.
Chris, we know you in the hood. It's cool. I'm joking. I'm joking. Chris a fucking
It feels like it. I went from the suburbs to the city.
Emotional damage.
But
I'm just playing with Chris.
It feels like it. I'm not gonna lie. I go for runs and I'm like, oh, there's a lot of cars out here. Like they can list every characteristic about the modern woman, what they don't want, right? All these really negative things. But when it comes to what a feminine woman actually is, like for you personally, what does that look like for you? Are you making $1 million a year, or are you making 50 grand a year? The type of woman that you're with is probably going to be different depending on those two situations. What exactly is going to fit you and what you need? And they're constantly attracting, I feel like, these types of women. Like they're reacting to their videos. They give so much time and attention to them that I don't think they could pick a fit, feminine, friendly woman off the street. Like they wouldn't know what to do with her. They don't know what she wants, what she's looking for, what type of man she wants. They don't know how to be direct with her. When was the last time you asked someone out on a date, right? Like there are so many things I feel like men don't know. And then for what he was saying in that video, he's 100% spot on. I think so many women, I think oftentimes women don't realize that through their actions, that's what they're saying, that's what they want. Like whenever you sleep with someone, you're risking having a child with them, which is saying that their DNA, that who they are, is worth being pushed into the next generation. So if you're sleeping with an inmate, you're saying that his DNA, his genes are superior and should move on. Like that is like your requirements for that are so incredibly low. And people don't like to hear that, but women's requirements for sex should be higher. They are higher than a man's requirements for it. But I feel like they've dropped them down so low, and then they expect a different future because what they've had before isn't good enough, and they think that they can just run out into the world and just get whatever they want. And that's not how it works. And I'm just noticing that men don't know what they want. Women have had bad experiences. They don't know how to get what they want, and it's just awful.
Yeah. Do women do a good job at explaining what it is that they want, though?
Say it again?
Yeah, we just don't do a good job of listening.
Do women do a good job at explaining what it is that they want?
No. I don't think women know either. The reason why I don't think women know what they want is because women can't even acknowledge that they can't do it all on their own. They can't, like, if you don't even, so just because you know that you want your man to make more than you doesn't mean that you know what type of man you want. If you can't acknowledge that you need help, that you can't do it all on your own. If you're still saying things like, I want a partner, I want to stand side by side with him, you probably don't fully understand what you want and what you're looking for. If you also at the same time want him to fund your entire lifestyle, they want to be a stay-at-home wife. Like you're conflicting. That's not how that works. So I think that they just have this idea of this luxury lifestyle. They want the luxury, but I don't think they really understand what they want either. I think they want the title of being a man's wife, but they don't want what comes with it. They don't understand that there's work. If you're going to marry a man that's a millionaire, it's not easy. It's not going to be easy, but they don't get that. So I don't know. I don't think they know what they want either. If they truly did, they wouldn't want these men that have all these options because they want loyalty, but they also want the $10 million guy. Mm-hmm. He will probably cheat on you.
Yeah. Some men would rather, I don't know why I'm saying that. Some men would adjust what they thought they wanted once they meet a woman who showed them the qualities that they really need in a partner/wife. I would say wife, not really partner.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But prostitutes is looking real good these days. I'm just telling you. Prostitutes is on the up, nigga. Y'all think I'm playing? Nigga, hookers is on the rise. Nigga, hookers coming up around this bitch. Hookers on the rise. Y'all, I'm not joking. Hookers is on the fucking rise, nigga. Hookers is on the rise, nigga.
I think I recently heard something like when
that hookers is on the fucking rise.
They prefer the term escorts. They're escorts.
Well, hookers, escort, whores, prostitutes, whatever the fuck you want to call them, ladies of the night. Sweet patooties. They are coming up around this bitch. They looking better and better every fucking day. Do the fucking math. You got a calculator, nigga. You got a calculator. Ain't nobody got time for that. Nigga. Anybody got a calculator? Pull that bitch out on your phone. My phone over there charged. I ain't bullshitting, nigga. I'm not bullshitting. I'm gonna show you the fucking economics behind it, bro.
Okay, so why do you what? Okay, so how does that aid into men's expectations? How does that aid into I'm curious.
Because you got a whole there it is, nigga. What do you don't expect? You don't expect her to love you, do you?
No.
Answer the questions. No. You don't expect her to fucking only fuck you, right?
No.
Okay. And you don't expect her to ask you for no Gucci, Louis, or none of that other bullshit, right?
No.
There you go. You know exactly what the fuck to expect from her, right?
Okay. No, I absolutely.
Right. So we got all that out the fucking way. Now, the only thing left is once you start fucking with her, will she talk to you and keep you company? Yep. Yeah. She sure will. It just comes with a fucking price. Most of them charge $150, $200 an hour. Let's just say $200 an hour for a cute one. Okay. You might not want to fuck tonight. You might just need to talk. She'll talk to you for a whole goddamn hour. More than some niggas talk to their own bitch that they paying thousands of goddamn dollars to be with. Mortgages, car notes, fucking all this shit. And they ain't fuck goddamn it in 6 months. 6 fucking months. Some niggas don't be getting pussy except for every fucking 4 or 5 months, nigga.
I agree with that because there was an escort that went on to Auburn Preacher channel, and she was talking about how a lot of the times when men come in there and it'll be
they just want to fucking talk.
They just want to talk. They just want to talk, and because what they get at, like they'll literally come there and they just want to feel like someone is listening to them.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because a lot of times back home they just don't get that.
Exactly. So if you fucking a hooker 3 times a fucking week, right? 3 times in a fucking week.
You better not be making 30K fucking no hooker like that.
Well, nah, you can't do no. No. Nah, nigga.
You go the $20 one, bro. Like
well, hold up. Them my pocket. If you was fucking a bitch, if you fucking a hooker 3 times a month, that's more pussy than what you getting with your wife. You fucking 3 times, $600 a month, right? So you ain't got no mortgage no more. You done moved into a fucking house, apartment, because it's all you need. $1,000 a month, $1,500, whatever, right?
Okay.
You know, out of one of them times, hell, you ain't fucking for no hour straight, nigga. You talk to her for 30 minutes. If you talk to her for 30 minutes, fuck her for 30 minutes. That's still more than what the fuck you had with a wife. That's a shame.
That is.
That's a fucking shame. Hold on, all women who do this shit, that's a shame. You can literally be fucking replaced by a goddamn streetwalker, nigga. Well, now $200 hoe ain't a streetwalker. You can be replaced by an escort.
Only for sex, though. That's the thing. Is men aren't choosing these women for sex. They come. What gets their attention initially is sexual attraction, but what makes them stay is the interest in having children that are going to survive. They're not going to have children with a hooker, and that's the issue. So you can sleep with who you want, but when you want kids and you want to spread your seed, you're not going to settle for that. So yeah, it's a quick pleasure, right? And it's low energy. But at the same time, it's not going to fulfill your need to have offspring.
But what makes us leave? But what makes us leave? What makes us leave? We talked about what makes us stay. What makes us leave? The absence of sex, your motherfucking mouth, and your retarded ass requirements. That's what make us leave. So guess what? Hookers get pregnant too. It was an HBO
about what make us not want to give
hoes to housewives. And it's been some hoes that converted to housewives and they took the pay cut. And you know what was crazy? They was fit, feminine. What's the other shit? Because I use my own thoughts, but I'm gonna use this shit since you brought it up. What?
Friendly.
They was friendly.
Fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive.
And they was all of that. And they missing money. But they got married. It was about 8 of them. Now these weren't escorts. These motherfuckers was street walkers. About 8 of them got married. The men happy as shit. The women fine, cooking, cleaning, doing all this shit, taking care of the kids, blah, blah, blah. He met her where she was at, right? And didn't judge her. It is what it is. But she came off the street because she got tired of it. It was getting too dangerous. Each one of them had their own story as to why they came off the street.
What were you saying?
No, I was saying he was giving the side of the man of why they go to hookers, but are you giving the side of women of why they act the way they act for the man to go that way?
Yeah, a lot of times they listen to fucking people that ain't got nothing to do with their marriage.
That ain't true.
Either on TV and
I'm trying to tell you the other side of why.
Okay, so
the women may stop giving them sex, like because you said they only give them to them 4 or 5 months. Why they don't listen to them? Why they, just not listen to whatever they saying? Not because you said they like to be heard, and that's why they go. So
let me ask you this:
can we give the woman's side?
Yeah, we did. But I want to ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. So when you got a woman who is willing to do that shit, right? Because she mad at this nigga, what the fuck make her think it's okay and her marriage gonna last if she decides to act like that? Instead of just telling this nigga what I need from you or leaving this nigga alone.
Hold up. I want to hear Unique. What do you think the other side is? No. What do you think the other side is that the men aren't seeing?
Okay. So now you're with your wife, right?
Okay.
And the reason that she probably stopped giving you sex is because she is probably doing everything and he is not helping. A lot of times that I see that women just be like, they're cut off is because he's not doing anything to make her feel wanted or to make her feel feminine because she is doing everything. All he do is go to work, come home, take a shower, go to bed. He ain't helping figuring out what the kids need to eat. He ain't figuring out nothing to help if she's been with him, if she's been there all day with the kids. Then he could have made dumb decisions about his finances, about their finances, and she's worried about how she's going to take care of the kids. So now she's stressed, so she's going to stress him out. It's a lot of reasons why women start to not have sex anymore, start to argue more. They could be depressed as well because they're taking care of everything and without no help. Like Miss Bloom and Ebony has said numerous times that they testosterone levels start to raise and then they become depressed. And so it could be a lot of reasons why they just stopped all those things that's happening within the relationship that men are not seeing. And they just like, okay, I'm just going to get my quick fix. I'm going to get somebody to pay somebody to listen to me because she won't. Why? Because you're not helping. You are making more stress instead of helping, instead of cooperating as well. You want her to cooperate, but yes, she's doing everything. About that side.
Okay. John, you want to say? Or Chris? I think we'll
let Chris go. I'm going to be a minute.
I think that's true. But what I also think is true, which is a solution to the problem that I don't hear very many women do, is instead of them, so oftentimes what happens is women, they'll keep doing and doing and doing and doing, and in helping other people, it sort of helps their stress go down because it releases oxytocin, I believe is a hormone. But then they deplete their oxytocin and they get, like, there's nothing they can do. Like, they need romance again. But the issue is that a lot of times women don't ask for the help. And I think I talked about this before too, is they keep taking these demands. They keep taking these requests. Just don't do it. Take care of your kids. But if someone needs your help, don't go. Tell him that you need your help. You need his help, right? The communication in these relationships are so bad. I think that's typically what happens is that, women, they either get aggressive, which I'm learning this right now. They shut down. They just don't say anything at all. They expect him to their mind, their feelings get hurt. They don't want to say anything. They're just too defensive because at that point they're already so burnt out that they are just done, right? And that's a problem too. So women also need to learn how to self-regulate, right? Like, yeah, he should be helping, but are you telling him where you need help? It's that idea that we're not the same. So the way that we communicate is going to be different. So if you need his help, if you need some of this weight lifted off your shoulders, you have to ask him. And if he's not giving it to you, well, hire somebody and tell him if you want to go to work and go to sleep, well, go to work and I'm going to use some of that work money to pay for a nanny because I need help, right? And that's the issue, is that we don't help ourselves because we think that we can do it all on our own until we can't. And then we get overloaded, overwhelmed, we get depressed, we take it out on him, he cheats, right? Not condoning any of that behavior, but it's a cycle. And where it starts doesn't really matter. But there are so many solutions along the way before it even gets to him stepping out and finding that peace somewhere else.
Go ahead, John.
All right, so when you know, I hear this same narrative and I hear this story, but that ain't the fucking average house, bro. Niggas do be helping, and they still ain't getting no ass. They still ain't getting no peace. They still get all that mouth in their ear, bro. What? Now what? Now what? Like, don't nobody, man, and then don't talk to him, don't tell him I appreciate you, nothing. Nothing. So you telling me you don't talk to this nigga, you don't tell him the only time you talk to him when you telling him to do something? When last time you compliment the nigga? When last time you just walked up behind him, reached around in the front and goddamn made him feel like he was sexy? When? 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 That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm telling you, hookers they stop going up, bro. Because you ain't got to put up with none of this bullshit. You ain't got to put up with all that, man.
But what I'm thinking is, like, okay, hookers are on the rise, all right? Hooray. But is that actually going to help with men and women getting together?
No. You know what's going to help? Actually. Stop the fucking... Well, it might. When niggas stop paying bitches any attention, then you're going to be forced with a choice. You're either going to fuck what you can fuck, get with who you can, or go be with a fucking bitch.
I think
those gonna be your fucking choices here before long, because niggas is fed up. Like, more and more niggas don't want shit to do with no long-term relationship.
But because men would stick it out just to try to get sex. But now if they can get sex somewhere else, they're not gonna be putting up with bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think in the short-term period it's gonna hurt relationships a little bit. But in the long term, women are gonna start actually listening to men, what men want, because either that or a lot more of them just going to become hookers. But either way, it's a win-win for men, I guess. But
listen, go ahead.
I think that if more men are getting their sexual needs satisfied, they'll now actually be thinking clearly and rationally on what women they would actually want to pursue. So the women that kind of have their ish together, they're going to get wiped up real quick. The ones that are out here just kind of reckless, then they're just gonna be out here.
Yeah, they hopeless.
Yeah,
like so, the ones that are out here reckless, they hopeless. Ain't nobody gonna wipe them.
If that was happening,
they'll find a nigga with low self-esteem that might wipe their ass up, but they gonna run all over him and then take all his money and divorce him because they don't like that nigga. They just gonna use him. But when I was doing my thing and I had like 6 girls with me, right? Most of the clients that was coming to see us, them niggas was engineers, rocket scientists. Them motherfuckers was making something. One of them dudes made $600,000 a year, nigga. He didn't want shit to do with a fucking wife, bruh. He bought this bitch a car, bought her a house for herself, all that. paid cash for that motherfucker. It was a small house, $85,000. But so he would because she was agreeable, she was sweet, she was fine. She was a fucking eye candy. She looked good on his shoulders. She knew how to talk. She was young, vibrant, all of that. All of that. And about 6 years later, he did wife that motherfucker up and took her from me. Now he had to pay a fee, $10,000, because she was one of my best earners. But still, I didn't care. I was happy for her. She wasn't on drugs, none of that. But they met in a transactional situation. But he knew most of the transactions was with him. So he didn't really give a fuck. And he didn't care about no body count before him.
Yeah, because he knows her substance.
Yeah, he knew what substance, man. Plus, somebody had raised that motherfucker to be a wife.
Okay.
She was decent. Like, she was cool. Even around the house, she was cool. She was one of the ones who would just pick up, wouldn't say nothing. I would even drop shit down, whatever. She'd pick it up. She'd fuss a little bit. But then it's the way she fussed, right? She was like, oh my God, boy, you so messy. And she'd come kiss me on the cheek. You see this? Who put this here? I did. Want me to take it and put it in? No, I got it. It's just who you are. And then she'll kiss me on the cheek. I'm like, I fucking end up helping this motherfucker do her laundry and my laundry. I even folded fucking clothes. Why? It's the way she came to me. She didn't say, God damn, I'm tired of picking up around this motherfucker. Because I can say, God damn, I'm tired of paying all the bills around this motherfucker. You ain't giving me no goddamn pussy or nothing. See how that worked?
But what if you did try the nice way? What if you did ask the nice way? What
was
if
you kissing on me when you asked me?
And say,
or was you just
I need
talking in
help,
a tone that
like
was
Chris
acceptable?
said, you did ask him for help. You wanted help. You said, let's go to counseling. You said, I don't want to argue anymore. I need help doing it. And then the stuff just continues. He just continues. So to me, most women don't start out rah-rah.
No, they don't.
It's a gentle thing of them keep taking the mess, and it just keep going on, even though they ask. Some women don't. Some women do shut down, but some women ask.
There are some that ask.
Yes.
I think most don't know how to properly communicate that, though. I think women asking is they go around a lot of the things that they want to like directly attack. Like if there's a specific problem, women will talk around the problem and hope the man picks up the breadcrumbs enough to find out what the hell is actually going on.
Let's talk about this for one
Shout
second.
out to Intellectual Soapbox, to Mave. 3 married ladies' opinion, unique. I appreciate everything that you're doing. Really, kudos to you. Daryl Long in the chat. Appreciate you, bro. Guys, if you want, I saw Red Lipstick Vibes. If you guys want to contribute to the conversation, there's the link at the top of the chat box. Come join us. And
we're also being streamed on 3 Married Ladies right now, too.
And we are also being streamed on 3 Married Ladies' Opinion. Shout out to that. But go ahead, John.
All right, so let me put something in the context, but give you something to think about, right?
Okay.
Now this worked both ways. So I'm gonna use a metaphor. You know I like using metaphors, and you know my favorite animal is the lion. All right.
Okay.
Let's say you was in the jungle and you had a lion who could talk. This nigga understood English and he knew what you were saying. Kind of like on Tarzan or whoever, right?
Okay.
And it was a male lion, not a lioness, a fucking male lion. Right?
Okay.
And I wanted this motherfucker here. I'm like, hey, you need to go and get us food. You need to hunt for us. And he never would help out. Like I'm doing all I can, but I can't really kill bigger animals to help feed him. Because I'm a human. So the only thing I can do is catch small shit eat myself and then catch a lot of small shit and kill a lot of smaller animals so he can eat too. But he ain't satisfied with that. So I'm telling him, nigga, get up and fucking help me. Nigga, I need some help. And this nigga tell me, bro, I would like to help you, but I ain't built like that. I'm terrible at that. Sometimes y'all asking these niggas to do shit that they just terrible at. They ain't good at it. They don't do it. It's not who they are. They just don't do it. And the same thing with a woman. And then you trying to force this motherfucker to do something that he ain't. You be something he ain't. Do something that he ain't. Do something she ain't. Be something she ain't. That's why dating is so fucking important. Fuck all that. Boo, you so pretty. Oh, you so handsome. You look so nice tonight. Uh-huh. Nigga, y'all need to start finding out what the fuck they good at and do it rock with you. Can it fulfill your needs at the house? And I don't mean sexual. I mean the shit that you know. A bitch get me, she gonna know two things. You gonna fuss till the day, till the sun come up, talking about me building any motherfucking thing. One, I can't do it. Two, if I could, I'm not gonna do it because I don't fucking want to. I'm not gonna fold no fucking laundry. Not gonna do it. Ain't gonna fucking do it. Unless you kiss me on the cheek and rub my belly 3 times, I might. But it'd be a once in a lifetime thing. I'm not built. I don't want to do it.
Men don't know how to do laundry. I hate when men do laundry. I would never let men do laundry.
There you go. That's a good way to. That's a good goddamn way to think.
No.
I'm not doing no fucking laundry.
I know how to do laundry. I go to the laundromat with all my laundry and pay them over there to do my goddamn laundry. So I do my laundry like I'm freaking man, okay?
Yep.
Don't take it away.
Damn right, nigga.
I do my laundry.
Man, I ain't doing no fucking laundry. Doing that shit. I do the same fucking thing. The cat's out the bag. That woman that work in the front gets my money.
Going to the laundromat by myself, okay? So laundry is fine with me.
Too much effort.
All right. So has anybody ever thought about that? Maybe you asking a motherfucker to do something that they just don't fucking want to do at all. But you should have found this out during the dating phase by asking the uncomfortable question. See, people like, nah, he used to be like that, but then he got me. Nah, nigga, he was never like that.
You know what? Perfect. I enjoy how this actually segued into the next question. You should start a relationship with your flaws on the table.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
How? Hell yeah.
How?
What? I'm gonna start every one of them motherfuckers with the flaws on the table.
Yeah?
Hell yeah. Bitch, I don't do this. I might cook for you, but don't be fooled because I ain't gonna do it all the time. It's gonna be special occasions. Maybe right after we fucking, you gave me some real good pussy and head, but I don't like to cook like that. Every now and then, I'm gonna expect you to cook all the time. I'm gonna expect you to do the laundry by yourself all the time. I don't do no fucking laundry like that. You understand? I don't build shit. I don't hang no goddamn pictures. Don't ever approach me with no fucking honeydew list ever in your life. Because guess what? The money you thought you was going to Cancun on, I'm gonna pay a nigga to finish their goddamn list. I'm not doing it.
Good enough for you, but do you think the average man can demand all of that?
He just tell him what the fuck he ain't gonna do. Yeah. They can appreciate you. A woman appreciate a nigga who let her know what the fuck she getting herself into up front.
Agreed.
Let her know up front what she getting herself into. That way she can say nope.
Hold on. Chris, you look like you're disagreeing over there. Talk.
It's just his reasons. He said, don't give me a list. But then, what happened?
I'm sorry, I want to tell Clement to look at his text because I can't do the private chat because I'm streaming and they'll see.
Oh, gotcha. Yep.
Oh. Like the list, the point was though is that you would hire someone else to do it. So I still win because it got done. I don't care who does it. I didn't have to do it.
I'm just telling you how
I came to you with a problem. You fixed it. However you fixed it. Now that's where surrendering and trust comes in. I don't care how you fix it. I don't care when you fix it. Is it fixed? Thank you. That's it. Like
there you go.
And appreciation.
But I'm telling her this in the beginning, baby, do not give me a honeydew list because I'm not gonna do the honeydew list. I'm fixing to fucking take and pay somebody to do it. I don't want to do that. I want to work. You understand? I want to work, spoil you, come home and chill. I ain't doing all that extra. You got something that need done, it'll get done. I just won't be the one to do it.
Okay. Most women don't speak up until things get out of control. And by then, it's a bit late. And now we're angry. Most men won't know why we're upset until we say something.
Yep.
Danielle, what do you think about that?
About not speaking up until it got out of control? Or that men won't know until we speak?
All of
it.
Yeah, the entire thing. The entirety of it.
Well, the last part is accurate for everybody, I would think. I don't think nobody really read minds, so nobody should know anything.
I knew she was gonna go there. I knew it. Nobody really read minds.
But I guess women don't speak up until they get out of control. I think one of my friends told me that we love the way we want to be loved, or we love the way we love. And so I think sometimes women, we can see that things need to be done and we just pick up that slack sometimes. And so I think we will expect that back from a man. But that's just retarded. But I have a brother, so I didn't just learn how to deal with the man or how to communicate. I asked my brother.
That's smart.
Hi,
nigga, I almost got a ring light.
How you doing?
What you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
Okay.
So what you have for us? What you have for us? Tell us about how the man needs to be walking side by side to you.
Well, yeah, I feel that everybody go into a relationship presenting themselves as someone they're not, which is why, hence the phrase first impression. Okay, because once you get to know that person, a lot of times you see that person is not the person that you went out with initially. Right. So for my thing, I say, if you're going to have a cheeseburger, have a damn cheeseburger and stop suffering with a salad. Let that person see who you are, so that later down the line, that person that they wake up next to is not somebody they hate.
There you go. What I tell you. Women appreciate a nigga who lay it all out on the line so she can make a fucking valued decision.
So
you can't never say that he didn't tell her.
You should always start out every relationship that way.
Yeah.
With your flaws first.
Yep.
Yes, honesty. It's not showing your flaws, it's showing who you really are. You show that to person, and if that person value you, then that relationship is going to bloom from there. But when you put that false person out front, when that person see that the real person that you are, then there's a problem.
Do you get it, Clement?
So then what's the difference between oversharing versus just talking about what it is about you that person might not?
You can't overshare. That's a fucking myth. Who the fuck even talk about that? If you're talking to a complete stranger.
You don't think oversharing is a thing right out the gate? No?
No.
I'm genuinely curious, because I think there is a thing as oversharing. But maybe I could be wrong.
If there's no oversharing, you're going to find out eventually. So why not put it out on the table right there? And then let them decide whether or not they want to be in that relationship with you. Otherwise, it's a waste of time on both parts.
Bro, listen. And to Madre, you'll know what I'm saying. Every motherfucking thing done in the dark will come to the fucking light, bro. If you serious with this girl, ain't nobody talking about somebody you fucking just meet. I just meet you. We just meet you. You don't even know if you like her. I'm talking about when y'all go on that third or fourth or fifth date, right? And she kind of like, you start talking about there could possibly be a relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, before we go any further, Let me tell you what I'm not. I'm gonna tell you what I want from you, but I'm gonna tell you who I am. That way,
I'm not a vegan.
You know who I am. And it goes like this. When I start off on something, I will fucking put my nose to the ground and I will get it. If you say you want something, I will figure out a way to fucking make that happen. I got a real kind heart, but I can't be walked over because I got a real bad temper, but I've learned how to control it. My weight fluctuates. That shit, I blow up and down. I'll be slim one day and fucking big the next day. So you're going to have to kind of watch what the fuck you cook for me. And make sure I always go to the fucking gym. I don't do fucking chores around no house because I ain't no fucking kid. I got teenage boys. They gonna do that shit. You understand? I don't do laundry. None of that. Sex, I'll give it to you any goddamn time, any way you want it, however you fucking want it. You understand? I'm almost finished with school. That's a big priority for me, so I don't need you getting in my way. You come up with a business idea, we'll chop it up, and I'll help you make that shit come true if it makes sense. I'll back you on that shit. I'll help you get investors and put it and help you any fucking kind of way. But as for me, I've been with a bunch of women. I've lived my life. I've traveled, been to 25 different countries, speak multiple fucking languages. But in the end, I'm a good fucking dude. I have investment properties. I have money. I have investments. You ain't gonna worry about shit. You're gonna always be taken care of. I'm just never gonna do a honeydew list. And I can afford not to do a honeydew list. Because I'm not good at none of that shit. I ain't never wanted to be.
I want to get Unique and Chris. I want to get Unique and Chris because I'm hearing your point and I'm hearing Tumadre's, but theirs is the opposite. So is there such a thing as oversharing? Don't speak up too quickly. Unique.
I said, go ahead, Chris.
You don't want to say nothing. Chris said, I don't know. I might just need to back up a little bit.
I think there is. It's, especially it depends on how you're sharing. It depends on the timeline, right? So do I think that you need to come out with all your flaws? No, but I think like it depends on how it's done. Like, I think Simon last week was a good example when he was like, I'm divorced and I have a child, you know, like the way that he came out with it wasn't the best, like where you make it sound like a flaw. I think there's a way to express who you are without like listing all the things about you that she's not going to like, because number one, you don't really know what she's not going to like. There may be things about you that she's not going to find to be flawed. It may be something random. She may find your job to be a flaw in you. You know, like, oh, you work in finance? Oh, you work with investments? That's not very, you know, that's not steady, right? That might worry her. You don't know. So you just go into it naturally without thinking, oh, these are the things about me that she's definitely going to hate. I think this is setting me up for failure, potentially, for the younger men. Just talk to her about who you are. There's no need to try and predict things that she's not going to like in 10 years. I think you're going to fail at that. There's really no way you'll know. Like, you're not going to know that I don't like cabinets left open. But if you leave cabinets open, it's not going to be a deal breaker, right? Like, it's you're not going to know that I don't know that. Like, you're not going to be like, oh, I leave cabinets open and that's a flaw. Like, it's little things like that. You just kind of learn it over time. And the more that you oversharing, I think, is trying to pinpoint negative things about you and trying to put that on the table in a form of transparency. But I don't think you sharing with different aspects of your life can be oversharing, because you need to get that information so that person can make an educated decision on whether or not you're going to work together. It's just the formatting and how you do it.
Okay. Unique.
I do think there is such a thing as oversharing, but I never thought there was before, because I am an oversharer sometimes. So there is the thing that's oversharing, because
give me
there's
an
a lot of
example
things
of
that
oversharing.
people,
Give me an example of oversharing.
it's a lot of things that people really don't need to know about me, especially in the beginning. They're like, do they need to know that I was with an abusive person? Do they need to know all the details and what happened in this abuse? Do they need to know, like, because some people will use those things against you. Some men will use those things. Some men will be like, oh, so she took that from this dude, so she might take it from me too. Like,
Ain't no
that's
man gonna think like that.
oversharing. Huh?
Yeah, that nigga do need to know that you, because that explains
I just
some of
told
your
you what some guys do. When
If
you
that
tell
nigga's
them
a
every,
Hold on, John. Let her
like
finish out.
once y'all you're gonna be in a committed relationship, then you can tell some details. But when you just meeting somebody, it just says, should you just put all your everything on the table? No, to me that's oversharing. I don't know you that well. I don't have to tell you that I've been in an abusive relationship right now. You know what I'm saying? That's not something, that's an overshare to me. Because men will use those things. I've seen it done. I've seen it done to different women that they like, oh, so they're a pushover. Because they was abused, I know I could push over this girl. And then men will prey on that. Some men will prey on that. And then same thing with a man. A man could say, I had a woman who was just so overbearing. She always told me what to do, told me this and that. And then a woman will be like, yeah, all right. So I know I can get whatever I want from this dude. And all I have to do is yell. All I have to do is do this. I've seen it happen. I've experienced it personally.
Got you.
When you overshare that.
Okay. Go ahead, John.
Now here's the plus side to oversharing. You get them niggas out your way up front, nigga. Cause now this nigga fixing to start showing you who the fuck he is.
Oh,
Good.
shit. Oh,
shit.
He won't show you in the beginning.
Oh, yes, the hell he is.
No, they
if he
won't.
Thinking that way, he'll show you. You just gotta see the red flag.
Show you in the beginning. They will not show you in the beginning. They'll just be pretending like, oh man, that's messed up. And then as time goes on, like maybe months, and they like, oh, I can get away with this shit. I'll just do it. And
most men don't bring that up until their insecurities kick in.
Yeah, once they are insecure about what's going on, they'll throw stuff in your face. But that's natural. People do that. People will throw your flaws up in your face once they become insecure. I agree with you.
Well, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. When you're talking about, like, for one, you being abused is not a fucking flaw of yours. That's just something that you need to just get out there, and the motherfucker just need to know if you like him and you want to be with him. Because you need to know, like, he gonna talk to you. See what he talk to you about. If all he got to say, you dating a nigga that's all he got to say is, oh man, that's messed up. Well, you might be dating a nigga who has no substance. He can't carry a fucking conversation. Because there's a whole lot to unpack around there. Questions that should be asked. You understand? So either way, you're gonna win because you're gonna know. Prompt the conversation. Prompt the conversation. Prompt the conversation.
That's not a beginning thing. That's not.
Nah, I said after 2 or 3 dates, y'all need. When y'all
not
figure
even
out
2 or 3 dates. That's not even a 2 or 3 dates.
Whenever y'all figure out, most niggas figure out after 3 dates, man, y'all gonna be something. Y'all either gonna be fuck buddies or a relationship. Don't nobody take no 8, 9, 10, 11 days.
I've had men that cheat on me. I had men that cheat on me. This man, I loved him so much, he cheated on me. And you telling that man in the beginning, guess what? He in the back of his mind, oh, I could cheat on her and stay with her and do whatever.
So let me ask you this.
I disagree with that.
How could he think that if you ain't with that nigga no more? How could he think that if you're not with that nigga no more?
I was with him for 10 years and he was cheating on me.
You're not with that nigga no more.
I was with him for 10 years and he cheated on me.
But you ain't got to tell him how long you was with him.
No, but that's okay. So then that's oversharing. Telling him how long is oversharing. You said there's no such thing as oversharing.
You still ain't no such thing as oversharing. But for you, that's what you need. I don't need all that. The mother can tell me everything. I'm gonna know how to put it together and categorize it.
Real quick, to both of you or to the panel. First date, should you start dropping these things? Second date, third date?
No. Around the 3rd or 4th date, you need to start letting some motherfuckers in. Or stop dating a nigga then. You wasting your fucking time. The fuck you keep going up with it for this?
And leave your girdles at home.
What?
I said first day, just order a cheeseburger and leave your girdles at home.
I don't get it. Chris.
I get it.
You know what I'm talking about. See, she know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Hold your stomach in, okay?
The girdle doesn't let them know how big their goddamn belly is. So just let it all hang out, nigga, on the first day, goddamn. Let's go. This is who I am, nigga. Love it or leave it.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, but as far as what Nick was saying,
hold up, Chris.
I agree partly with what Nick was saying, but the mindset is a little bit too on the negative side. So it's not so much that he can use it against you, because that's kind of going in with belief that men are just going to prey, and that can be a limiting belief. And then if you think that, you may attract that. So the opposite way of thinking about it is, I've already healed from that trauma. I don't even recognize that person anymore. So I'm not going to introduce you to who I used to be, because they don't exist, right? I've gone through it. I've healed from it. I paid my money in therapy. I've dealt with it. I'm not really triggered by it anymore. You know, if it comes up, then yeah, you can tell them, right? You can be transparent then. But if you've already healed from that trauma, there's really no reason to bring it up. Timing, I don't think something you should bring up too early on. Simply because it's personal. I think it's very personal, and you should have a better idea of that person before you bring up things that major, because it goes one or two ways. So he could prey on it. That does exist. But also, men are very protective. And so sometimes when you tell them things like that about you, they can not throw it in your face, but they get like very conscious of it. Like, oh, was that the guy? Or, you know, who did it? Was it someone? Was it this? Like they start asking more questions. And those aren't the questions that I want that man asking about me, right? Like, I don't want his mind to be sidetracked. Like, oh, I wonder when it happened to her. I wonder who did it. I wonder how long she was with him. Like all those questions just bogging down his mind, I don't think is necessary. And then he's going to want to ask me, and then you have to dive into it. I think it's one of those things that it's like gradual. I don't think the fourth date is, because I date quick. So the fourth date, that's like 2 weeks. You want to know this guy for 2 weeks. I say like 6 months, right? Like there's a chance you're probably going to end up marrying this person. What? You can tell him this type of stuff, like these heavy things, like abuse, that type of stuff. But before then, if you don't see a future with this person, or they're not showing that they want a future with you, I don't think there's a reason for you to tell them that type of stuff.
Okay. Tu madre?
Yes. What I was saying about Nick, she said, you know, she don't think that, no, you should say stuff like, I was abused, I was in an abusive relationship for 10 years and all of this. My thing is, sometimes the things we think we're hiding are the things that we need to say in order to have the other person that we're bringing into our lives understand the way we're acting the way we do.
Boom!
Because,
God damn it, dropping gems.
No, because, you know, sometimes people need the person we're looking at, the person that we are interested in, the person that we're hoping to have a future with, need to know about us. Like I said, leave the girls home and have a cheeseburger on the first date. But as you proceed forward, that person need to know exactly who you are. And if you're portraying a false self, or that person is portraying a false self, then once you guys decide to get serious, it's not going to work, because now you're showing the real person and you don't like who you see, or he don't like who he sees. So let it go. Let the person know who you are. So there's no deception from day one. I don't believe in first impressions, right? You either like me or you don't. You know, I have been in a relationship where, you know, I had an issue with the person, and the first thing the person brought up is my kids, and I was like, listen, don't you ever fucking bring my kids up in anything that comes emotional, damn it. Because my kids don't need a father. They already got a father.
Can I ask a question?
No, because a lot of men or women, they always figure you're looking for a parent for your child. You know, but you know, so I had to put a stop to that. I don't know what they dealt with in the past.
She said no.
Don't you bring my fucking kids up.
No, because I don't understand. Why are you laughing, John?
Because it was funny as hell the way you said it. Yeah, don't you bring my fucking kids up about
why
shit.
Is John
you understand me?
Hold up. Chris, ask your question.
Mama gonna get them.
Do you think that not discussing like heavy traumatic things with them, even if you've already healed from it, is a form of deception? Like that's leading with the false self?
Who's she asking?
I did not hear that.
So do you think that not talking about heavy traumatic experiences, especially if you've already healed from it, is leading with the false self?
I didn't hear the question. I'm not sure if I'm frozen or you guys are frozen.
Oh, okay.
You're probably frozen then. Dang. Yo, that cricket wild is crazy.
Boy, you crazy.
Am I the one lagging?
Yes. Are you watching us on YouTube? I hope you have YouTube closed.
I am watching you on YouTube.
Oh, can you hear me now?
She'll probably hear that I just said. I hope you have YouTube closed.
Okay. So do you think that not talking about heavy traumatic experiences is a form of deception and like leading with a false self? Like, do you think that has to be talked about as well?
I feel that it should be talked about. You know, I could be wrong, but I feel that that's something that should be in the forefront, because even though a lot of times we feel that we've dealt with our past and, you know, we've gotten over it, sometimes the smallest thing can trigger that. The smallest thing can trigger that memory or whatever the case is. So I think it's something that should be up in the forefront.
Well, then you haven't truly healed if something can
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if that man,
you've naturally
see if that man care about you or if he just want to fuck you. That's
exactly.
That's why you up front. That's why you up front. If you up front, he know how to deal with you. If you see this nigga being kind and careful around you and not doing disrespectful shit because he's mindful of who the fuck you are and what the fuck you been through, then he needs another date.
But I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I feel like there is a thing to overshare, but I feel like you should be honest. You don't have to lay every flaw about you when you first meet somebody, you know, but because they're going to get to know you. They're going to learn that. They're going to see that.
But how much time have you got invested by the time they see it?
I'm not saying that it's gonna take years for them to see it.
You don't know how long it's gonna take.
I'm just saying oversharing.
You don't know how long it's gonna take.
I'm not telling you not to be honest. I'm not telling you not to tell the things that you feel and that you want in a person. I agree with Chris when she said, yes, you need to find out some things about them, about where they work at, what they want in life, whatever. If you want to find that out, that's fine. Be honest with that. But what I'm saying is the oversharing. They're gonna eventually find that out. It's something that you have to be comfortable with letting somebody know with certain things. There is oversharing with that.
All right, well, let me ask you this. Raise your hand on this panel. If you was infected with HIV, would you let that motherfucker know? And when would you let him know? Raise your hand.
Oh, you have to.
I would let him know. When would you let him know?
That's something you let somebody know.
You can't see me, but I raised my hand.
That's health, though. That's a little.
Yeah. That's.
Oh, really? Well, what the hell is trauma? That's called mental health. That's called mental health.
Is that a thing?
And I need to know.
That's not gonna kill you. HIV gonna kill you.
And the black community, we don't believe in that. Come on now.
Stop the cap.
So you
there in the first place. That person have a choice.
So you are telling a nigga if you got something that he absolutely cannot see and you don't even know if you want to fuck him, but you won't tell him about something that if he got two eyes and had in any kind of education in psychology, he gonna be able to fucking see something ain't right about your motherfucking ass. That when he do like this, you jump back.
Okay.
Or if he moves too quick, you always jump.
HIV is different.
Then I'm gonna ask you like, Was you beat up before or something? Why you jump so much? I raised my hand to go wipe some off your face, and you almost jumped out your skin. I was just trying to wipe this off.
I think both can be dropped on like when you feel comfortable, like around like when you start thinking like, all right, I might want to get serious with this person. That's when you
might want to fuck him. You can say it.
Yeah, that's when
I might want to give him some pussy. Shit needs to start coming out.
I agree, but I don't think. I still think it's oversharing. I still don't think it all needs to happen right there, right at once.
When you start thinking you want to fuck him, that's when you need to start sharing. Before you get
can I say
body.
something?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I dated this guy once. You know, we dated for over a year. And, you know, every morning I would, you know, give him a kiss on the cheek before I go to work. You know, one morning I go to give him a kiss on the cheek. And he jumped out of sleep like he was ready for battle. And I'm like, whoa, what the hell is going on? And this is when I found out, when I was in prison, you know, the guards will come and they wake you up out of your sleep. I'm like, okay, so, see, because for me, that's dangerous. So I don't need to be in that. You didn't tell me that prior to us getting this far into the relationship. So now I am at risk.
Perfect fucking example. Now you done wasted your motherfucking time when he could have told you this shit way longer back.
He shouldn't have took a year to tell you that. That should have been told maybe in the first 3 months.
Wait, so you didn't tell you that he was in prison?
But not third date.
Whenever you feel like you want to fuck him, that's when you need to start letting it come out. Why you gonna let this man fuck you and you ain't gonna tell him your shit that he needs to know about you? What the fuck?
Exactly. So you know me, but I don't.
Body. That's all you did. You might as well just be out there fucking.
Listen, man, stop.
It different because I'm not saying not to tell you, because I'm not saying not to tell the things, you know, that you need to know about a person in order to say this is the person I want to be with. Like those major things that you always bring up, right? I'm not saying not to talk about them things. I'm saying that it's some stuff that you may not feel comfortable sharing right on the third or fourth date. That takes time for you.
And all I'm saying is when you done made up your mind that you're gonna give him some of that punani, it's time to start sharing. Whenever that is. If it's the first date, so be it. If it's the second date, third date, fifth date, 18th date, before you get busy with this nigga, y'all need to have a heart-to-heart. What's wrong with that? Before you give yourself to another fucking dude, a whole nother body walking around this bitch. So just to find out that he ain't willing to accept that shit, or he don't like it, or he thinks something wrong with you, or maybe you bring that shit on yourself. You don't know, or like you said, I can't fuck with her because I might want to put hands on her, and she just might let me. I might need to go on. I'm gonna go back to prison for this, or whatever this nigga thinking. Or I might need to move gingerly around her. You don't know.
So for people that, because we all agree that this stuff does need to be brought to the table, though. Correct? We're all in agreement with that.
We agree on what?
That your flaws need to be brought to the table when you're thinking about starting a life with someone else.
I agree.
I agree.
So, what about the people that don't know how to properly bring it up?
What about them?
What advice would you be giving them if they're stepping to someone thinking about getting serious? What would you be telling them? How would you lay it out to them that, listen, these are things you got to start talking about with them?
You want to know if they like you, then tell them. And if they don't like you, then now you know. You're going to get some feedback either way. Don't let this, because it's going to come out, man. It is going to fucking come out. It's going to come out.
Okay. For most people, a traumatic experience is very, very hard to get over. And quite a few of us are still trying to work on past issues that we haven't gotten over. And I can say for sure there are issues that I've had in my past that I never revealed to my ex-husband, which, you know, I probably should have, but he never asked, so it was never told. But I feel that in the beginning.
Wait. When it comes to traumatic situations, this is the panel. When it comes to traumatic situations, should it be a if they don't ask, you don't tell?
No. Not if you, especially if you're married to that person or you was thinking about getting
married. They need to know.
They need to know.
Young and stupid here. Young and stupid. At that time, I was young and stupid and didn't know it best. And I thought I was protecting myself and protecting my children, you know, and everything else that I was protecting. So I never stopped to consider him in the entire, you know, relationship and what should be disclosed. And this is why I'm saying now that you should disclose things in the beginning when you think you're going to be in a relationship with somebody, so people know how you react to things and why are you reacting to things. Because when you keep that bottle up inside and you keep the other person don't know why you're doing this, why you're feeling like this and all of that, and both parties contribute in some way to a relationship ending. You might not have said anything, so you contribute by keeping your mouth shut. So it's best to speak up and try to figure out, how are we supposed to work this out? How are we supposed to resolve this issue? Can we work as a couple in a relationship while this issue is still out there on the table? And then you decide from there whether or not you want to be in a relationship with this person. Otherwise, you know, you're going to waste time dating somebody that you're going to eventually not like.
Yep. Because it's just a temporary. When you like, if you said, let's say this chick, right? She bad, boy. She bad. And she say, hey, you know, if you quit smoking, I'll be with you. For real? That's all you got to do is just quit smoking. All right. Well, then you do the shit for 2 or 3 weeks. You on edge. You goddamn want a cigarette so bad you can't fucking see straight. But then when she go away for a little while or you go to work, nigga, guess what you doing? You smoking. Then when you come home, you hiding it. Well, before long, you ain't gonna keep hiding it. Eventually, you're gonna go back. And when you go back to, because that's who you are, nigga, you like to smoke and you trying to quit for the wrong fucking reason.
Probably gonna do
ain't no different than anything else, nigga. If she like your black ass, she like you with that cigarette in your fucking mouth, or she don't. So smoke your fucking cigarette, dude. That ain't your fucking bitch. She ain't for you, nigga. Same thing with a bitch. If he don't like it, he ain't for you. It's just that easy. You ain't gotta change your motherfucking self. The next nigga you go out with is not your fucking husband. The next bitch you go out with is not your fucking wife. This just a bitch who agreed to go out with you. That's a nigga who agreed to take you out. Quit trying to marry the motherfucker as soon as you see him. That ain't how this shit work, man. You gotta keep dating until you find that motherfucker. The shit just come together natural.
But okay, so what about when does it time to actually build with someone though? Because what you're saying sounds like, okay, you got to keep looking for that perfect person.
Yep. No, it ain't a perfect person.
I don't think that's
just the person who rock with you.
That syncs with you the best. Okay, so your authentic self.
Like if you a fat motherfucker and she like fat motherfuckers, there you go. We starting somewhere.
Hold on. How many people in the world do you think can actually like your authentic self? You think it's a small percentage or a large percentage? If you're a likable person, how many people in the world do you think is going to end up liking who you are?
Not many.
Okay, so how many people in the world do you care whether or not they like who you are?
When you're starting to start a life with someone, are you...
When you... Hold on. That was a trick question. So, that was a trick question. Clement, your ass slick, but you ain't that goddamn slick. That was a good question, but it was a trick. It was loaded like a motherfucker, like a loaded baked potato, all right? How many people are going to like your true, authentic self? But how many motherfuckers know how to put their best qualities out there so they fucking outweigh the flaws that you're gonna tell them about. I'll wait. Clemente.
Say it again.
I think
how many motherfuckers know how to put their best qualities out there so that when you do tell them about the flaws, they ain't that goddamn bad. That's the difference between niggas who can date and find and niggas who just date to date. That's the difference.
Ooh, that's a good point.
That's called knowing your motherfucking self. You know yourself, you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses. Now, how do you know how to make that shit transcribe over to her? Because if she find out, it's called an 80-20 rule. She can like 80% of your motherfucking ass, which is not 100, and can't stand the other 20, but can deal with it.
So how
those are your flaws.
How do you come about something like that then? How do you, as a person,
first you gotta understand who the fuck you are.
Okay.
And be honest with who you are.
How do you come about that as a person? You're
what do you mean? Be more specific.
Because you're saying, okay, knowing who exactly that it is you are. Correct?
Yeah.
How does a person come about that?
It's called introspection. Not inspection, introspection.
Okay.
Which is the same thing as inspection, but it's introspection. Knowing how to sit down and evaluate what the fuck you're good at.
Okay.
Knowing how to evaluate what the fuck you're bad at. And then stop lying to yourself. That's the first motherfucker you got to stop lying to is you. Stop lying to yourself. If you know you struggle with your weight, own it. If you know that you don't like doing certain shit, own that shit. If you know you lazy, say it out loud. Put it out there in the atmosphere. I'm lazy. I don't like doing certain shit. And when you know that about yourself, you can communicate that to somebody else. However, I am this. I'm not this. And I'm the only reason I'm telling you this is so that you know what you're getting yourself into from the beginning. Because I don't want you to waste time, and I don't want to waste time either. So the only thing you need to decide is everything that's good about me, and she's gonna believe all of it. You know why? Because you told her the good and you told her the fucking bad. You're being honest. You're being transparent. She can respect that. And you're being different than other niggas. Because other niggas only want you to see the fucking good, and that's a fucking lie. And that they can't hold up. Then when you call them on that lie, now you got them niggas dancing. But how long is it gonna take before you call the lie out? 6 months, a year, 2 years? Now you done wasted your damn time. And you saying to yourself, you know what? I should have went with that oversharing motherfucker because he was real. And that's that.
I still think oversharing is a bit much, but I get what you're saying.
I do think you should be honest. I agree with all that honesty. But
shout out to one of the original guests, LJZ. One of the first shows.
What'd you say, Nate?
I agree you should be honest. I agree you should be your authentic self because it's not how it normally works. Normally, you know, that what is that, serotonin levels or whatever have you being your most best self, and being more compromising, being more, you think that that's who this person is, and then within a matter of, I would say, 3 months, that's when you really get to see sometimes who that person is. Maybe even 6 months, to the point where, I didn't really realize this until my last relationship with my husband, is that, damn, you really was putting on the show. You was really putting on the show. I really thought some things that wasn't really true. And then when I asked him why, he said, because I got you now. So we don't need to pretend anymore.
There you go.
But that's why I'm saying, that's why I was asking you that question, John, because I truly believe there are people out there that they don't know how to do that. They don't know how.
There are people that don't know how to do that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I was asking that, because for someone like you who's went through that, you understood the steps that it took.
I did it all the time.
What's that?
I've never not been that way. So I told you this one of the first podcasts. I have always been fucking transparent, and it worked out for me.
No, not the transparency, the self-reflection. The no.
Oh yeah.
Your inner, your good, your bad, the positive, the negatives about yourself. And I think there are people out there that just cannot do that or don't even understand how to be.
They don't want to do it, man, because you got to admit you're not good at something. Mm-hmm. You got to admit that you're not perfect.
It takes years to learn how to be your true self.
Yeah.
People that's been through it and experience it, they eventually learn how to do that and how to portray themselves as who they are from the get-go. People that are now trying to I mean, now the younger generation is different, but exactly who dates without the expectation of being in a relationship, a long-term relationship that's going to lead to marriage.
I think everyone does. Even the younger generation. I think everyone does. I think a lot of people now are more scared of being hurt, so they'd much rather dismiss the person first before the other person can end up hurting them. I think a lot of people now are dating with, I'm just gonna keep myself as guarded as possible. So I'm gonna get what I want, hit them for what I could get from them quick, and then dip.
I don't even think
you have a lot of people doing that now.
I don't even think the younger generation now know what dating is about, because dating now is Netflix and chill.
Isn't that a date?
That's what they call it.
It leads to nothing except some weed and something on TV, and then maybe some sex, and then a couple of months down the line the sex get old and nobody knows what happened, and you just veer off into another person.
Yep.
I think there's a lack of communication if that happens, honestly.
I mean, this is a good topic because I love transparency. One of the coolest dates I ever went on back in the day, like when I was like in my 20s. I was about 24, 25. It was a Filipino girl. I was over in Germany, right? She had to go back to the Philippines, and I wasn't ready to get married, but she knew that. But we was really crazy about each other. I really liked that girl, you feel me? We was at the damn date, right? And she was looking all down at her plate, and she kind of picking over her food. I said, "Do I need to feed you?" And she was like, no, I'm just shy. I said, "What?" So I started picking up the food with my fucking hands and just putting it in my fucking mouth. She started laughing. I said, "Now you do it. I know Filipino people eat with their hands sometimes." And she was like, "No, in here." I said, "Do it." No, I said, "Do it." And she did it. I said, "Don't that feel much better?" And she shook her head. I said, "Don't that feel much better?" She's like, "Yes, it feels much better." Then this motherfucker started eating with her goddamn hands. And then we both burped out loud. I said, "I'm going to see if I can get one louder than you." I went first. And then she burped. And we was laughing like a motherfucker. Then we started talking about every fucking thing. We broke the fucking ice out front. Like I said, this is what I'm talking about. Now you look real sexy to me because it's your authentic self. I know you probably don't eat with your hands all the time, but don't be something you ain't for me. I ain't gonna judge shit about you. I just like you. And she was cool with that. That made her whole fucking ass, she relaxed for the rest of the fucking night. I think she even broke wind a couple of goddamn times when we was walking downtown. I smelled something. She didn't say something, but I think she farted. But I'm just saying. Transparency can be a beautiful fucking thing when they comfortable, man.
Agreed.
Women like to be comfortable around the nigga they with, bro. Do you know how insecure women are for the most part, bro? Especially after they have a baby or something like that. You build them fucking insecurities up, bro. You talking about motherfucking sexy. They think you sexy as fuck at that point. Because you're making them feel sexy around you.
Mm-hmm.
You willing to overlook her shit. She willing to overlook your shit. That's all I'm saying. She ain't perfect. Don't forget, the nigga you telling your flaws to they got flaws, nigga. Them niggas, don't forget, the harlot never got stoned in the Bible. Cause then nobody not have no sin. They couldn't throw a stone.
Preach.
People like, how could you tell people your body count? Why not? Why not? I ain't no fucking virgin, nigga. I got 3 boys. Why you think they got here to start?
Wait.
I fucked 3 different women and made them. That's how it happened. So you know 3 off the rip.
OMG, the stork don't deliver the baby?
No. It was a shock to me too.
Yo, this is some BS. All right, show's over. I'm done.
What? What?
Shit. Trying to sit up there and hide all that shit. Woman sitting up there, know she want to fart like a motherfucker. She get up, powder in her nose. She going that bitch to fart. I need to go powder my nose. She needs to go blow her back.
So what about the men that just can't handle that though?
We can't
like
do.
A woman can't. I can because I know some men that like their girlfriend goes to the bathroom every time if she needs a fart or anything like that. Gas for some people. Yeah. What about those guys?
What about
that couple? What about that couple? Do you think that that's their way of showing their comfort, or do you think that they just have things that they aren't able to get past as a couple?
They got things that they ain't able to get past. They worry about what other people think about them too much. They are both a bad mix, but it just on the outside it look like they work real well together because they will make it work real well together. But on the inside, they both are fucking ticking time bombs.
Preach.
You understand what I'm saying? Like on the outside, you think they got everything going on, but on the inside of the relationship, it's a fucking tragedy. It's a fucking tragedy. They neither one of them free. They both handcuffed. They both in shackles. And what makes it so bad, they in shackles around each other. The one other motherfucker who supposed to know you and done seen you every which way, you can't even be your true stuff around. You can't even fart around this nigga. You gotta go to the bathroom and fart, nigga. What kind of relationship you think y'all fucking got,
bro? When I was in my 20s, this dude, I asked him, well, how do you know you in love with a girl? We was just starting to date or whatever. He was like, when I feel comfortable passing the gas around them, that's how I know I'm in love. You just reminded me of that.
Yeah, but you know what that translates to? When I can be vulnerable around you, that's when I know. You know why thugs be getting the fucking women to fall slap in love with their motherfucking no goddamn job getting ass, going headed back to prison sooner or later, but them motherfucking women love their ass and put money on their books. You know why? Because what the fuck you see is what the fuck you get. Bitch, I was a gangster when you met me. I'm gonna be a gangster when I'm dead.
I thought it was because of that.
And you knew this shit up front.
I thought it was because of that D.
And they stigmatize them. I ain't gonna lie, they throwing the goddamn dick on them, boy. Yeah, right. They don't try to be something they ain't. They take a lot of pride in not trying to be something they ain't. I need you to go to this thing now, Shawty. You don't want me to go. I ain't wearing no suit. Fuck that. That ain't how I move. But you can go. Better not now nigga be in your face though. And I means that. And I will have somebody that got an eye on you.
God damn.
That's how niggas like that is. What the fuck you think? That, oh no, honey, you can go and do whatever. Hell no. Them thugs don't think like that, bro. You crazy. And they don't nobody talk back to them neither. You know that. You done been around them. Hey, they ain't got no mouth like that.
Yeah, but when I was younger, I didn't know that they was having people watching me. I didn't know that they were talking to other people, asking what I do. I didn't know that. I mean, I know it now, but
that's the way niggas in the street move, bro.
Okay, we're gonna.
Yeah, you need to segue into something else.
We're about to veer left real quick. But we're gonna drop one more question. More men want to be married than women think. More men want to be married than women think. Thoughts?
Not nowadays, I don't think.
Not now.
Yeah,
not now. A lot of niggas don't want. I'm on the fence.
Even married men don't want to be married.
Oh shit! I was just thinking that. I asked because my husband has somebody that's younger than him, but go through a lot of the things that he's going through. So he'll talk to me and say, the guy said this, and that, and then I'll tell him, yeah, but wait till you experience this, and that. And I asked him, I said, well, if y'all are so miserable and y'all just sitting there talking about y'all wives to each other, why are y'all still married? Like, why are you still here?
But okay, so here's a question for that. Do you think a lot of men or a lot of people in general aren't happy because all you ever hear is people talk about the negative aspects of their relationship as opposed to highlighting the positives? Or do you just think that they're in unhappy marriages? Because I think, me personally, I think a lot in this time period, we spend a lot more time highlighting all the negative aspects of everything, including a lot of relationships, especially when it comes to relationships, or especially when it even comes to like having kids. Because if you ever talk to anyone older, when you have a kid, you don't want to have a kid. Live your best life right now, travel, have vacation, because once you have a kid, it's all over. It's all down there. And then you wonder, like, wow, why do the younger generation not want to have kids? Well, goddamn, you told me that everything you told me has been purely negative about it. You know,
I just that, putting that out there, as far as my kids were concerned, I was like, okay, enjoy your life now, because once you start having children, the focus has to be your children. You cannot, just focus on you anymore. So enjoy what you're doing now, because after this, everything that you do should be geared around your children and your family.
I think there's a lot of fun in having. I don't even have kids. From the people that I've spoken to that have kids, I think there's a lot of joy and fun that comes with having kids.
When you know how to balance the kids' time and you and your wife time.
Yeah, of course. I mean, everything's a balance, but being single is a balance, and a relationship is a balance, a marriage is a balance, a life is a balance. But I think we speak so negatively when it comes to marriage and children and things of moving forward through adulthood. I think we speak so negative, or we focus so much on the negative aspects of it and less on the positives about it.
So here's my question. See, when my kids were younger, everything I did surrounded my children. I would say I need a pair of shoes, and I would go to the store and come back with 2 bags of clothes for my kids. And my supervisor at that time, she'd be like, you need to stop, because every time you say you need something, you always buy the kids something. And there was one time, I was pretty much in tears, because I felt like if I do something for myself, I was neglecting my children. So my kids were always in the front. My kids, my husband, and everything. I put me in the background. So at which point was focusing on your children, at which point would it be negative in your life that, if you think that having kids is going to, deprive me of, I never thought in that sense that I just wanted my kids to have the best of what I never had. So I never look at it as a negative. So at which point do you think that having kids and focusing on your children is going to be a negative in a relationship?
When you no longer focus on your relationship? And
but
you
it was
only
always
focus on the kids?
The kids came first, and then the kids. For me, The kids cannot defend themselves. They didn't ask to be born. We choose to bring them into this world. So they're our responsibility until they're at the point where they can defend themselves and take care of themselves and not have to depend on us anymore as parents, where at that point we can go back to being in our relationship. So where do we stop and where you know the kids go to bed and no, listen to this, because we work different shifts. One person worked days, the other person worked nights. So there was never really a point where we pretty much are in the same space. And even on the weekends, there were other stuff with the business and all of this other stuff. The kids were involved in it. The kids went out and they helped, you know, take part in the business aspect of the marriage and all of this. So it was not a negative as far as having kids and raising kids and focusing on kids and all of that. My thing is, why would anybody think that having kids and focusing on your kids while focusing on your marriage and stuff is a negative?
Because it ruins the marriage. The marriage eventually will dissolve. And then the children are born or are in a less stable situation. Kids are always in the best, they always at an advantage when you got both parents.
True.
You put yourself at a disadvantage when it drop off, when one drop off. You understand what I'm saying? Like even the lioness know that she got to feed herself before she feed her child, because she's the one who needs to survive. The child will survive if the mother survives. The child won't survive if the mother don't survive. And to cap it all off, the family survives when that male lion survives. Because if he get killed off, all the kids are gonna die. That's a fact. That's why the females make sure the male is fed, so he can patrol all night and do his job, what he's supposed to do. But when you look at it in humans, when you have a baby, it's a baby. That's all it is. It's a human baby. Can't talk, can't walk, can't do shit for itself. You're right. Helpless little thing. Did not ask to be here. But guess what? You get that baby a nursery. You put that baby in that motherfucker. You put him on a schedule. And when that baby sleep, that's time y'all spend together. Now, if y'all working, you don't have good work-home balance. That ain't got nothing to do with the baby. That's got something to do with the adults. Because you shouldn't be having 9 and 12 and 15 jobs talking about, I got a baby, I got to provide. That's an excuse. No, you don't. Yeah, you need to provide, or you need to focus on one job that makes more fucking money. And not work 9, 10, 12 jobs. Don't do that.
Budget better.
Or budget better. But that baby for many years is not going to come between y'all marriage unless you make it. That whole sleeping in the bed, that's why you don't do it. I don't care what no books say. I'll write a book about it and tell you every fucking negative thing about it. The baby becomes a fucking a lap baby. Follow you around the house. Don't know when to fucking self-soothe. Emotional regulation is fucked up, which means the reactivity is fucked up. Fall all out in the fucking floor. All that shit come from sleeping with a fucking baby. All of it. That baby needs to have a bedtime. Then y'all need to have alone time, which incorporates sex, dating, and the same shit that got you to where you made that damn baby. When y'all go out on a date, that baby needs to go to a relative. That baby don't need y'all 125,000% of the time at all. That baby can't even fucking talk. Throwing elaborate birthday parties. Waste of fucking time. Waste of money. Infancy amnesia is real.
So
kids don't remember shit before 4 years old. You better get that motherfucker a $5 fucking cake, put a candle in the middle of it, and let him mash it in his face and call it a day.
Real quick.
The hell?
I want to get Tack because he's been.
That sandwich is looking good too.
I was eating. I'm good.
Yeah, I mean,
them sandwiches is good. It's
you don't say.
I'm
it didn't look
listening.
like that. I don't know. He could have fooled me.
Yeah, it's gone. How y'all doing tonight, though?
What up, Top?
No, man, I was just listening to the doctor, man, lay it out. You know, I think that when we talk about that, we generalize it. I guess we're trying to just hit some points on how most people would do, not all people, right?
Right.
In terms of transparency, taking care of the kids, different things like that. I know that people that I've seen throughout life, they have like two types of relationships. It's like if they're married, they have one type where the kid grows up, and then after they go off to school, kind of start not really in the house much, then all of a sudden they have to go into a different type of relationship with each other again, and then they might not like each other, and then a lot of people get divorced as a result of that. So it's not like the kids in and of themselves are splitting them up, but the reality of it is you're not the same person 15, 20 years later, you know, and a lot of times people outgrow each other. The interest becomes different and different things like that, you know.
Real quick,
go ahead.
Do you think is that they outgrow each other, or they haven't taken the time to get to know who that person is again? Because we're all always growing as people.
I think,
you know, especially because each parent's gonna have their separate time with a kid and their separate time out in life. So you're constantly changing, you're constantly evolving, but then you're only focusing most of your time on those kids, and then keeping the house afloat, going to sleep, waking up, redoing the same thing all over, and you're not learning who that other person is. Like, you learn them to date them, you learn them to make the kids, and then you stop learning them because kids are involved.
Yeah, so I think it's a combination. It depends. It can happen different ways. So a lot of times people get in auto mode. They in auto drive. I had a conversation with a friend of mine a few years ago, and I was like, write down how much physical time you spend with the person. Actual physical time. People don't really spend that much physical time. It's like if you're trying to find somebody to marry or find somebody to date or commit to exclusively, you're really trying to find somebody to just spend a handful of hours with a week, you know? So when it comes to being in auto mode, passing each other as y'all pursue your career, or the one person doing this, the other doing that, I think what happens many times is the kids are used inadvertently without any intention on exposing the parents getting together or paying attention more, just through them getting sick or doing well in school or not doing well in school, different things like that, right? And then 18 years later, if you haven't been working on getting to know each other, if you haven't been taking that me time, that us time, being selfish and all of that with y'all two, then you got to start dating this person again. You got to start dating each other, because now there is more time. There's twice as much time. And all of a sudden, this ain't the person whose face you want to be in every day no more. So I think it's a combination of things. It's not this one thing. It's just many things. And then once you drill down on it of who it is, then all of a sudden you start identifying, okay, it's this for them, and it's this for this other person, and it's this for this other person, you know? I've heard, like my sister, this is her second time being married. She said that her first marriage, she knew it was over. She was just waiting for my nephew to graduate and all that. And then she was out of that first marriage. So her thing was, you know, it wasn't like he was beaten up or none of that, but she just wasn't with it no more, and it wasn't working out. But they hung in there for the sake of whatever. I don't know. People make it up. They say it's for the kids, it's God, whatever. But that's what it is. So me personally, I never believe it's just this one main thing. Now, it might be typically one thing we generalize that represents the majority of the reasons why. But me, from my observation, because I've never been married, I just look at different experiences and I hear different stuff. Like, I got homeboys. If their wife could hear what they say, either they're lying to me, let's say that, but if their wife could hear what they say about being married over the last 10 years or so, it'll trip you out. It'll just, but then again, if maybe they could hear what their wives say to their girlfriends about being married, I don't know. But, you know, yeah, that's the way I see it.
That back to what I was saying before. But John, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a point. I'm gonna try to make a point. If you can just follow me, because I ain't got much time. Like, given my situation, I be having to go until I get back home. Like, once I get back home, then I'll be able to stay the whole time rapping all this other stuff.
6 minutes.
Anyway.
We're
all right. So when you moving into a relationship, right? I'm glad we're having this conversation, right? Because that just shows you how important it is to be able to have a plan when you first start dating, especially if you're dating to marry, right? Because you and this woman are going to develop. This is my area. You're going to develop together, okay? Y'all are going to go through changes together. And all of this is going to be centered around the kid too. Just like Chris. Chris don't have no kids, right, Chris? Chris also don't have no stretch marks either. Chris don't have that many insecurities. But what happened when she gets stretch marks after she have her first baby? Then how, as a husband, how is he going to respond to that? How's he going to respond to that? I don't know. I mean, y'all act like when women have babies, they don't have stretch marks. I don't know no women that ever had a baby that didn't have stretch marks. They always have stretch marks. When you got them stretch marks, that's a big deal for a woman. I know that, and every woman on this panel know that. When they got friends, if it ain't you personally, you got friends, that's an issue. How does he deal with that issue? And then when you talk about just spending time with, then y'all having birthdays. You getting older. Maybe he don't look at you the same way he used to look at you. The baby already requires so much time, and y'all done stop dating. So how's it gonna make her feel? How does he feel about the situation? Does he get excited and feel like he needs to do more, make more, which means he's away from home more? You got to consider that. Then when you start getting around your 30s and 40s, you ain't the man you used to be. You on your downstroke. You ain't on your upstroke. You're not in your prime no more. You're moving outside your prime. So now you're thinking maybe I need to be with her. I might want to have a fling, or I might, how does she think I still look good? Do I still got it? Then what happens when you're 40? Then parents start dying off. Now what? All of this shit have to be considered when you're talking about long-term relationships, being married and all of that. Then y'all done stop dating? Y'all don't date no more? How you know she ain't gonna blame not dating no more on her? How do you know? Like, we have to be real cognizant as a man as to how she looks at us and how we look at her. What can we do better for her? And she got to look at us as, what can I do better for him? When the baby's born, you can't just forget about each other and say, look, we raised our kids, because I'm going to tell you what happened. They get grown and y'all get gone. You out this bitch. Because somebody likes them goddamn stretch marks that you never did fucking act like you didn't want to address it or make her feel better about it when her head was down when it should have been up. Somebody gonna talk to this nigga and let him know he's appreciated. Somebody gonna fucking say how cute them babies are while you done took on another job, another responsibility. And out of respect, she gonna raise her kids, but she gonna keep that nigga around. Or he gonna stay with his family, but he gonna keep that girl around. And when the time is right, even if that girl or that dude ain't there no more, he ain't gonna be there either. Because y'all have completely become disconnected. You have no friendship. Because if you friendly, you can be honest with each other. And you can, this nigga be vulnerable and be like, boo, why you looking down? Because you know why? Oh, boo, they sexy. Come here. That's cool. Hold her like you used to. Love on her like you used to. Look at her like you used to. I seen what that shit look like. My homeboy John and his wife Daisha, they got that shit. I spent time with them, man. The motherfuckers been married for 20 years. 20 fucking years. They raised 2 kids that they made and 5 motherfucking kids that ain't got nothing to do with neither one, except for one of each of them. Different kids. They got 7 kids in their goddamn family. 7. And he still look at that motherfucker like it's the first day he ever fucking seen her at the club. Still. That shit shocked the fuck out of me. Amazing, some beautiful shit. She come down there and let us know food was ready. And he just looked at it and said, baby, come here. You would think them motherfuckers only been dating like a week. 20 years later, she still look at him the same fucking way. He still look at her the same fucking way. He'll kill your ass graveyard dead about it. And one thing, nothing else about it. But their kids ain't never came between them. She always round their ass up, put them in their place, and they spend time together.
I have a question, John.
Yo.
Last question, and then we're rounding up the panel. Closing thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my question.
Okay.
What percentage of women do you think is most likely to kiss their husbands or boyfriend or whoever pee-pee and make him feel like he is the greatest thing on earth, even though he can't do nothing with it because he's impotent as a mofo? Versus how many men are gonna kiss their wife's stretch mark to show her she's beautiful?
Well, hell, I would say the numbers will be higher for the man kissing them stretch marks than a woman sucking on a limp noodle. I don't think that's gonna fucking work out. I mean, that could be.
That's not true.
That's pretty. I know the numbers is higher for the man kissing on the stretch marks because a limp noodle. Shit, 2 or 3 tugs if that motherfucker ain't trying to stand up, bitch. This is like a job now. You gonna have to pay me if you want me to keep going. I'm sorry, boo. You got to fix yourself. You need to go see somebody about that.
Listen, not because a man can't stand up means that he cannot ejaculate, which is his pleasure. But women, if they love that man, would do that shit.
Well,
women, I'm speaking from experience. Women would do that to make him feel like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread and toast.
I need to hear this. Like, mama, now, mama.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, CKQ. I'm sorry.
Closing statements.
Women like, mama, no.
No.
Don't. Just stop it. Stop it.
Yeah, we're closing out our youth fashion.
Oh, we're doing this.
That was a good note to end it off on. Thank you. We got Chris.
Okay, can I say my final thoughts on the conversation, or am I like closing out?
Both.
Okay, so I think when it comes to children and the conversation we were just having, you don't want to lose yourself, because the worst thing that I think, personally for me, my goal as a parent is for my kids to look at me as a mom and think I want to be like her. I think oftentimes what we see is we see so many moms that sacrifice themselves and they're annoyed and they're overwhelmed and they're depressed. And they're always so busy, and the kids grow up and they think, I don't want to be like my mom. And I don't want that. They say, I don't want that life. I'm not going to have kids. I'm not going to get married because I don't want to end up like that. Right. And I think that is one of the worst things that we can do. So don't lose yourself. Take care of yourself. Find that balance, like Clement was saying. I think it's super important that we do that. And if you can find your own balance and if you stay radiant, it will typically help the rest of the family. Right? If you stay peaceful, you stay calm, you stay in your feminine, it's going to help the overall home environment because you're kind of in control over the home's like energy. Exactly. So before you even get to it affecting your relationship, how's it affecting you? And based on that, that's when you start seeing the effects in the relationship. So it 100% starts with you. But with that being said, once again, my name is Chris. I have a channel called The Blooming Ebony. I haven't been there in a while, but I'll be there eventually. The CPA exam is killing me. But you can find me on Instagram. I'm a little bit more active on there. And you can find me here on Tuesdays on CKQ Podcasts. And until next time, I hope you enjoyed this. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button on your way out.
All right, what's up, everybody? Dr. Candidate here. Hey, look, be transparent, man. And when you have babies, enjoy the babies together, but then enjoy each other. Them babies don't need y'all up under their Pampers 24/7, all right? Remember how the babies got there. You can find me on behavior_consultant on IG. And you can also find me on Black Wall Street Trading LLC. And if y'all friends with my other Facebook, the JON Cornelius one, unfriend yourself because it got hacked and I no longer have control over that account.
Hello. How I wanna wrap up with, I got to call into a show yesterday that I love, that y'all might see on 3MLO YouTube along with CKQ. Hit the like button and subscribe. It's called Three Married Ladies' Opinions. So I called into the show that I watch and listen to all the time, and I said, I've been working on myself. I know I've been working on myself, but nothing is changing for the person that I'm with. And they said, if you have truly healed and worked on yourself, if you have truly did the introspection and did everything that you were supposed to do and to become the person that you want to be, everything else will bend around you. Everything else will either leave naturally or come into your life naturally. And I didn't get that because I was thinking if I change myself, this person is going to automatically see and do what I want them to do. So I think Chris is right. Everybody don't have the luxury of dating while they have kids. Everybody don't have that luxury. But you should definitely take care of yourself and become the person that you want to be so you can attract that person that you are. Because whoever you with and whoever you attract is exactly your reflection of yourself. So you will get more things like that on Three Married Ladies Opinions, YouTube, IG, Facebook. Look for during the week, Monday through Friday, Zoe Williams will be on mine. Look for Tuesday, CKQ will be on mine. And IG, Married Ladies Opinions. Thank you.
I am unmuted. My name is Danielle. You can find me on Instagram at FlyNurseMomWife. What I would say is all this advice is wonderful, but the best thing to do is just to know yourself and do what's best for yourself in your situation. Because most of the times when we on these shows and people are saying what you shouldn't do, I've done those exact things. And I love my life. So as long as you're doing what makes you happy, that's all that matters.
We got Tu Madre.
Hi guys, thank you for having me on the show, CKQ. I don't have a channel, but you can probably find me hiding from my son because he's probably gonna hunt me down after tonight. I apologize if I embarrassed you guys because I'm probably the first person on this show, but love you guys and I enjoy the show every time.
You're well loved. You're well loved. And we got Tack Williams.
Hey guys, it's Tack Williams, and I just want to say thank you to CKQ for allowing me on the platform, and I want to acknowledge everybody on the panel. I think everyone made some good points and gave some good examples for people to either pull from or say, yeah, that's what I'm going through, or that's a strategy that I might want to try, or a technique. And that's the thing, you know, you have to find yourself in this thing and then tweak it out for you. Make it your own. That's kind of what it is. A lot of the information we get on these panels is like baseline stuff, and then people share as you guys were talking about different experiences. I'm just saying, just whatever the takeaways might be for you, that might be something that you want to consider, or at least be able to echo to somebody that maybe you're having the conversation with as another perspective. So that's all I got. I just want to say thank you again for CKQ having me on here. You guys come over to this channel and subscribe, and yeah, hit that like button.
Ladies and gentlemen, that has been the show for tonight. We spoke about being transparent, especially when it comes to relationships. If you want any kind of relationship to go further, the more transparent you are with that other person, the better off you guys are going to grow as a couple. So if you take anything away from that, take that away from this. All right. It's been an amazing show. Hit that like and subscribe to this channel for more content like this. We go live once a week, every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. You will find a lot of different YouTubers here. You got Chris Blooming Ebony, Dr. John Candidate, Neek is the Night, my sister's keeper, and even Tack Williams. So stop by. We'll always have conversations like this. But until then, it's been great. It's been fun. And we'll see you next time.
Peace.
If we're doing everything right, I think we should be vetting our wives, like go to their parents, go to their fathers.
They know they shouldn't have let me start speaking my mind in the booth, start speaking the truth. Might get shot.
I think you're just saying, okay, actions have consequences, and I'm not going to support this person's actions. Like, you don't have to cancel them and say, like, I'm never, I hate you.
Innocent lives have to die.
But the whole thing is men are I also. That man was on the other side doing the exact same thing, and his decision with his eyes was to walk away.
Inside your soul.
Now we could paint the perfect picture without belittling each other, because under God's system,
we are equipped to handle that responsibility, but not every man is fit to handle that responsibility.
I done seen flip Michigan
and this is being
cities. They pissing in project buildings that got a roof that leaks, resulting in missing ceilings. Hard to sleep. Children going to schools dealing issues deep.
So I think society does make it more difficult for short men, but I don't think that it's impossible that they could find someone.
And expecting you to do your part. It ain't hard to see they trying to keep black in the back, just like Rosa Parks. Cops shooting blacks as if they get a token from God. School rob you with needed resources.
Is the weaker vessel and the more vulnerable.
Absolutely, 100%.
You don't look at the man like, oh, poor son, you were violated. No, you like, right.
And nobody.
They shift my stick like some cars. And when you're lonely in your darkest thoughts, come, I know it's hard, but God shines his light on all I play their part, and it's the start.
Put myself in a situation where I can only rely on a man. Like if I'm married and being a stay-at-home mom, I need to have a backup in case anything happens. I can't only rely on him. You know what I'm saying?
A flower will grow once you plant the seed inside your soul.
Poet, and the best part of me shows it. Here to speak the message of what is known, but not what it takes. Expose it, listen closer as I take you on a mental path. See divisions, the math, hoping we clash on lower levels, just like in the past. Before we begin to see spared lives, keep in mind the first 3 letters of unity starts with you and I, and maybe then we can all thrive, changing the narratives of our lives, finding belief from inside. We gotta come together, different feathers, and we fly together despite any weather, evolving up forward just like propellers, using negatives to fuel positives. How we change the mark, just like taking the devil's flames just to warm the coldest heart. Mama knew it from the start. DC mode.